Okay, so hello again. This is Miss Jen, and in this video, I will share to you about the last domain of learning according to Benjamin Bloom. But before that, let us have this picture or the image of the iceberg. Okay, so just like when we put ice to our water, a glass of into a glass of water, so may tabo sa ice. The ice will not sink. Okay, it will float because the ice is less dense than the water. So I'd like to open my presentation with the idea of the iceberg. How much do you see of an iceberg? Okay, is this really the entire image of the iceberg? So this is the entire image of the iceberg. Only 10% of any iceberg is visible. The remaining 90% is below sea level. So let us illustrate this concept. So let us assume that these black lines, by the way, makita ninyo akong presentation?
Yes, Chris.
Okay, so let us assume that this black line is what we call as the sea level. Okay, so under it, let us label it as the below sea level and color it with blue so that our mind will tell us that this is the below the sea level. And let's add some fishes. Okay, then above this black line or above the sea level, we can color it as sky blue to represent the sky and label this as above sea level. Then let's add bird to signify that this is the above sea level. So take note, below the sea level will be the invisible part. We can't see below the sea level. And the above sea level is what we call as the visible part. Now let's drop an iceberg here. So this is the iceberg. Okay, and as you can see, only 10% of the iceberg is visible to our eyes, and 90% is invisible. So this phenomena or the iceberg phenomena is also applicable to human beings. The visible part, or what is known to others, are the knowledge and skills. So this is just the 10% of what we demonstrate or what we show to people. They can identify the knowledge we can share to them, the skills we demonstrate. However, there is a 90% that the thing that we have, we possess, that they cannot see or kitaray nakaibaw. We call this as the unknown to others na part of the iceberg or the invisible part. This is 90% of who we are, and that is attitude. Attitude is composed of the values we develop, motives, the desires, the beliefs, the standards, the judgments, the philosophies, the fears, the likes, interests, and mga dislikes. So these are the things that we don't commonly show to others. But it gives impact to how we acquire the knowledge and skills. So this is true with learning. Attitude matters in terms to learning development. So for example, the students will easily learn dancing if first and foremost the student loves how to dance, okay, and she values it, okay, and being motivated by it. So another one, doing research, okay. So if you have a negative attitude in doing research, then it will impact on how you will learn research. Another one, math. So if students have negative attitude towards math, then it will impact their performance. So this is why it is also important that we need to develop a positive attitude to our students, helping them develop good values, good motives, beliefs, standards, philosophies, judgments, fears, likes, dislikes. We will need to guide them on how they develop this attitude, and we call it as the development of the affective domain. Okay. So let me ask you, what makes your life 100%? Okay. So let us assign each letter of the alphabet with a values. Let's say A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, until Z is 26. So let us calculate what matters most. Let's have skills. That is S is 19, K is 11, I is 9, L is 12, and S is 19. When we sum this up, it will have a total of 82. Okay. How about knowledge? Okay, that is better. That will give you a total of 96. Hard work. So that is 98. Okay. But there is one thing that will give us 100. And we call it as the attitude. So this shows that attitude is everything. It will impact your principles in life, on how you acquire knowledge, how you acquire skills, and becoming successful. So according to Zig Ziglar, your attitude, not your aptitude like your knowledge and skills, your attitude will determine your altitude. Altitude means the height, okay, that you will going to reach. So it is your attitude that brings you to higher altitude or higher heights. So this is the point why we need to develop the affective domain of the learners. So let us discuss the levels of the affective domain. So what is affective domain and why is it important? The affective domain focuses on the attitudes, values, interests, and appreciation of learners. The hierarchy associated with it begins with receiving. So this is the first level, receiving, listening to information, up to characterization. So characterization is the last and final level in affective domain, or we call it internalizing values and acting upon them. So affective domain focuses on helping learners understand what their own values are and how they have developed. So let us have an overview on the 5 levels of affective learning. The simplest and the first level is receiving. Next, responding. Next, valuing. Next, organizing. And lastly, characterizing. So let us explain this one by one. Let's start with receiving. from the word receive or accept. So definition, it is being open to an idea or experience or show willingness to listen. So this is the important part. We need to develop the student's skill of receiving, accepting knowledge, being open. In other nga mga agents mo, ana rin na open-minded ka ba? Okay? So what are the verbs that we can use to develop the skills in receiving? Listen, follow, reply, choose, describe, give, hold, identify, locate, name, points to, select, and ask. And what are the sample learning outcomes to develop the skill in receiving? Let us have listen to other students with respect.
Respect.
Okay. Listen for and remember the name of newly introduced people. So when someone is being introduced to you, you need to listen to their introduction and remember their names and listen when they talk. So that is skills in receiving. So that is also important in a classroom. Kanang we need to also intervene students who are not listening. Masuko si teacher ana. Okay, ato anang i-correct. Labi na tong kanang mga students nga magsigig gamit og cellphone. Okay? So, kung kana siya niya, while the teacher is talking, so that is the students fail to show the skill of receiving because the student is not willing to listen. Then ato na siyang i-modify. Okay? Then ato ang atong i-reprimand. In a way po niya dili siya mauwawan, muna uban niya moduol. Okay? Tanaw i-call ang attention in a way nga dili sila mauwawan. Then after receiving, they need to respond. Okay, so after listening, they need to respond or reply or explain an idea. So what do we mean by responding? Here, the students will need to get involved in or participate to an activity. So what are the verbs we can use to develop the skill in responding? We can use answer, assist, aid, comply, discuss, greet, help, participate, perform, practice, present, report, also question. Okay, these are the verbs that we can use so that we can formulate the learning outcomes under responding. For example, participates in class discussion. So we need to check this skill. Okay, gives a presentation. For example, the student will share his or her output to the class. Another one, questions new ideas. Okay, this is being curious and being inquisitive is a start of wisdom. So able to ask questions and to deepen their understanding about the concepts, models, etc. in order to fully understand them. And another one, know the safety rules and practices them. Okay, so these are some of the learning outcomes and the verbs we can use to develop the skill in responding. So after responding is what we call, it's a half. We have valuing. So valuing means attaching values and expressing personal opinions. So you share what you value. Okay. So how to develop this skill in valuing? We can use the verbs complete, demonstrate, differentiate, explain, follow, initiate, invite, joins, justifies, propose, share, study, work, and the learning outcomes that we can that will help us understand this level is demonstrate belief in the democratic process. Another is sensitive towards individual and cultural differences. Another proposes a plan to social improvement and follows through with commitment. So the students here gives value to a certain concept or idea. Like in the first example, gives value about the democratic process, gives value about the cultural diversity, gives value about social improvement. Okay, so the students here gives value on everything that is given to him. So like for example, in teaching math, okay, so we need to give our students activities to catch their attention, to motivate them so that they can receive an idea, okay, efficiently, okay, being willing to listen. Next, then they can respond, they can share ideas, they can exchange ideas. Next, value. They value what they learn, they value what is being presented, they value what is being taught. After that is organizing. So what is organizing? Here, students should be able to resolve conflicts and develop a value system. So for example, we have a social dilemma nga, let's say, kanang wanang usa ka student nga, bay, exam na biya inig ka sunod adlaw. Tagaan ti kag, librihan ti kag, kuan, kanang 500 nga load. Okay? Ganti kay 500 nga load kanang kuan ako ray bahala nimo kanang pakopyahan lang ko. Okay? So kana siya that will create a conflict and mailhan nimo ang estudyante nga kabalo mo na siya sakto nga attitude or affective learning if he or she can effectively resolve that conflict and develop a value system. So, if ang student makita nimo ang student nga nadyo strong na philosophy and attitude, if dili gyud siya matandog sa iyang beliefs, so mo na siya ay di ko ba kay kanang honesty is the best policy. That is true. Nothing more valuable than an honest work. Di ba? Wala na laing mas importante kundi ang imuhang honest nga performance. So kana siya, so asa may estudyante nga naka-develop og nindot nga attitude ana, katong student nga naay strong og belief system, dili magpa-cheat. Okay, his ability to resolve conflicts. Okay, dili mo dritso kuan kanang mo dritso nay nangaway sad siya. So, in organizing, the student has the skill to resolve conflicts. So, how to develop this skill? So, these are the verbs we can use: accept, adhere, arrange, build, defend, explain, formulate, generalize, integrate, modify, organize, prepare, and synthesize. So what are the learning outcomes under this level? Example, accepts responsibility for one's behavior. Okay, so for example, wa man ka nagtuon, Brad, dawata na lang yun nga kanang kinahanglan jud kang mo remedial, kinahanglan jud kang mo magtuon. Okay, so accepts responsibility for one's behavior, accepts professional ethical standards, and lastly prioritizes time effectively to meet the needs of the organization, family, and self. So another one, ang sa may imuhang pilion, ang kuan pag kuan laag-laag or ang pagbanding-banding sa imong friends or pagbanding-banding sa imong family or ang pagtuon para sa exam. So kana siya na nakagipang organize nga mga values and you develop a value system. And this value system is very important to achieve the last level of affective learning, which is characterizing. Muna ni ang pag-build sa imuhang character. So this is how we develop or build a character sa tuang students. First, they need to listen, receive, they need to respond, they need to explain, discuss, exchange idea, they need to value what is given to them, the lessons, the experiences, the tests, the challenges. They need to organize their values. And lastly, they need to build the character. And we call it as characterizing. So what do we mean by characterizing? Characterizing means adapting a philosophy which adjusts the learner's behavior. Okay. So what are the verbs under this level? We have act, believe, display, immerse, influence, modify, perform, practice, propose, revise, serve, solve, verify. And these things are actually the verbs and attitude or characters of a leader that has a character. So, if ang leader, lisod kayo man leader nga, wala kay kaning effective, wala na develop imong effective learning. Kay nga naman, kung dili ka kay ba mo resolve og conflict, mabungkag yun na ang imuhang group or imuhang organization. Labi na wala kay character, wala kay imuhang philosophy. So unsaon nimo pag-lead, labi na kung ikaw mismo wala pa ka naka-form og imuhang strong na philosophy. Philosophy that is helpful to the organization. So example, shows self-reliance when working independently. Okay, so this is a good character na dili lang permi by pair, by group. Kinahanglan our students should perform some tasks independently, that they have to rely on themselves. Second, revises judgments and changes behavior in light of new evidence. So that means being able to compromise for what is better. Third, values people for what they are and not how they look. So that is another example. Okay. So let us review the 5 levels of affective learning. We have receiving, responding, valuing, organizing, and lastly, characterizing. So to synthesize, the affective domain includes the manner in which learners deal with things emotionally, socially, such as feelings, values, appreciation, enthusiasms, motivations, and attitude. And we need to develop this. And before I will end my presentation, I'd like to share to you a quote. Okay. We have discussed in the cognitive domain the importance of developing the mental aspect of the students. We also discussed the importance of developing the psychomotor or the kinesthetic or the body and mind coordination skills of the students. Today, in this video, you also learned the importance of developing the affective domain of the students. So the affective domain of the students is follows this quote. Educating the heart is as important as educating the mind. Okay, so that means we need to develop the three domains of learning of our students: the cognitive, affective, and the psychomotor domains. So thank you so much for listening and watching my video presentation. So here are my references. Okay, so